G'day everyone, Jackson here, and welcome back to the weekly endeavours for the 21st of April. We've got a 230 seal set. We've got killing foes class abilities, killing world bosses, and harvesting resources from the world. So I'm a resources from the world fan, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing class abilities, and I even don't think there's anything wrong with trying to do world bosses. But I would say, if you really want to do this as quick as possible, I think harvesting is the fastest. This one's still fine though, and I definitely think world boss is going to be the slowest. So if you want to do world bosses, I suggest just do like a chillax at one of the world bosses and just watch YouTube in the background, because at this point, when the weeklies come up for world bosses, people usually stay at all the different world bosses waiting for them to respawn. And if you try and go back and forth between them, sometimes it can be unreliable, because if you just leave and it respawns, the people there will usually kill it before you can get back. Sometimes, not always. So because of that reason, I try to avoid it, just because sometimes it could just be unreliable. But this one here, I think is very straightforward, because this way shown here, everybody's got access to this. It's very easy to get to. You just jump off there's like a wall over here. Yeah, this one here. You just jump down here. Just walk a little bit down here and you'll find the world boss spawning here. The only issue with world bosses is they take a while to respawn. Can take 5 minutes. Sometimes they can be quicker, but I think it's got to do with if someone comes in and they haven't done the world boss before, and it's like the stars align or whatever. I can never replicate just making them spawn on demand, so I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about that. So that's why I really suggest these ones, because this one here, waiting 5 minutes each one, that's quite a lot of time. That's like 4 hours. So if you fight this guy, odds are there's going to be a bunch of people here as well doing the same thing. But if not, I'll just I'll wait for this guy to respawn. I'll see if I can show you how he works. Main thing to remember about this guy is he attacks really slowly, but his attacks do tons of damage. So try and block in between whenever you see his arms move, block, and after every attack just try and heavy attack once if you're medium armor. But if you're using physical weapons. But yeah, as you can see there, the dude does some really hard hitting attacks, so running something like Vigor is really important if you're going to control this dude. But yeah, as I said, there should be enough people there to help you do it relatively quickly. Yeah, you just got to do that 15 times. And that's it. Now, as I said, you can juggle between bosses, because what I like to do sometimes is go between this boss here, this way shine, and this boss. Or as you saw there in the Alligator Desert, you've got this one over here, and then this one to this one. You've also got in green shade, you've got these two here, which there's no way shine nearby, but they're right next to each other, so you can just circle around and do those two. And there's a lead for the Wild Hunt Mythic as well if you want that, so you can get that too at the same time. But yeah, as I said before, not a big fan of this one, just because sometimes it can take ages. But 15 world bosses is definitely better than what it used to be. Used to get fucking 30 or whatever. Alright, so next option. Let's talk about class ability kills. This one, I would highly suggest you build a dedicated character if you want to do these ones, because it'll make it a lot easier. So there's a couple of things you need to understand about getting kills with class abilities. Nothing except for any of the damage in these tooltips here matters. Everything else, if it gets the last hit on an enemy, you just don't. It doesn't count for this endeavor. So anything from proc sets, things like depths. If this kills an enemy, like if the whirlpool that this creates kills an enemy, or if an enchant, like a poison damage enchant, kills an enemy, if you have like a single destruction staff ability on the back bar, for example, this also will take kills and prevent it from counting for that endeavor statistic. So you want to try and avoid as much of this stuff as possible. I do think Blockade is a good one, just because it applies the weapon enchant on the back bar, and you can have weapon damage on the back, and it's really good. But like I've got no enchants that actually do any damage, because those will steal kills, and just try to avoid using those. So I like to run Forest Wraith and Innate Axiom. These both are sets that just buff the damage that your class abilities do. So they're perfect. They only affect your class abilities, which is all the damage you want to be doing, or all the damage that you want to be killing everything. These are both crafted sets, so they're really easy to acquire. So yeah, definitely suggest at least if you're not going to use these, definitely use something like Order's Wrath. Order's Wrath is still really good, and you know there's nothing wrong with running this instead. Also, Heartland Conqueror can be great, especially if you're trying to level up a character. You could use this too. Other than that, sets like Mother's Sorrow are good. Things that don't basically say when you do this, apply this, and it deals damage. Basically anything like that, you don't want to have that stuff. As for where to go, I always suggest using Skyreach because it is instance. It's like a dungeon, but the enemies are just a little bit weaker. So, and there's tons upon tons of enemies. There's like 250 enemies in here. So you can do a single run, takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how powerful your build is, and you can get this done in a single go. So I'll just show you a run through as I would do. So, in order to get here, this way shown here, Skyreach, you want to unlock this eventually. Best way to do it is to find a house on home tours with the Earth-Tier Cavern house. So you go to Browse Homes, go down to E, Earth-Tier Cavern, and just travel to one of these, go out the front door, you'll rock up here, just go up here, through here, go up here, unlock this, and then you're on your way to Skyreach. So the quickest way down is from the Waystone, come onto the bridge here. You need 50 in breakfall though to survive the fall. If not, just go down the regular way, just go down the hill. Otherwise, you jump off here, you'll die. So what I like to do is I hit the end of the ledge there, point my compass towards Skyreach, and then just you'll land on this little hill here and you'll survive. Just bear in mind, if you're a stage 4 vampire doing this, you won't get any health recovery. When you come down here, you might get killed with the full damage that you take. Alright, so prioritize AoE damage. As a Dragonknight, for example, I have things like Inhale, Burning Talons, Eruption, and then... So what I usually do is I run Eruption and then Inhale and then Talons and spam those two. Because Inhale is a good self-heal.
Future me here chiming in to realize I forgot to fucking put Engulfing Flames on as well. Use that as a Dragonknight, it's really good. I was just leveling everything, that's why it wasn't on there.
And it heals for 100% of the damage caused. So that's pretty insane. So yeah, Dragonnight's pretty good for this. The only class I don't like for doing this endeavor is Warden, because they don't have an AoE skill that you can just keep casting over and over. They have Shulks, but that's on a delay, so you can't just keep casting that over and over. You have to wait for it to go if you want it to deal damage. It also doesn't heal you. Nightblades, Sorcerers, Necromancers, Templars, and Dragonnight's are my personal... I personally like using those. Arcanists are good. They deal shit tons of damage, but I just find they're a little bit more annoying to heal on. To get, like, offensive healing on. But they're still bloody good. Like, they kill shit so quickly. But yeah, anything aside from Warden is fine, I think. Alright, so, first room is just zombies. That's a pretty easy room to go through. Have much. Alright, so, once you've rounded them all up, I'll put standard down, just to get the weapon damage enchant. And now I just spam Talons, Deep Breath, Talons. And then when there's one left, I just use Lava Whip or whatever. When you get to these rooms, keep an eye on these here. There's like these bone mounds. Same thing with these like fire pits. These guys, there's like skeletons in them, and you can make them come to you. DK standard on the ground here, and just line of sight them into the wall. So they'll all run through the DK standard and get wrecked, as you can see here. So all I'm doing here is just getting them to get line of sighted using the wall there, and it just means that all the ranged enemies are going to just sit in a corner away from me. Interrupt the archers if you can, because it'll just mean they don't hit you with bloody one-shot kills, basically. If you see taking aim and you've got that add-on, then try and get rid of those archers. Yeah, I missed a few there. I bloody light attack just by instinct. Yeah, don't light attack if you can avoid it. Don't be an idiot like me. Also, I would suggest running a food... I don't have any food, do I? Oops. Yeah, this stuff. Jagger Drenched Mudball. Anything with max Magicka and max Stamina. I know that sounds weird, but you are going to need a fair bit of... well, if you're a Magicka build. If you're a Stamina build, just go Stamina. It's fine. But yeah, I find I use a lot of Stamina to break free and to use Vigor in here. You can use other things, but that's not my quite like using. Again, Bone Mounds here. Groups enemies. Use the wall to line of sight all the ranged enemies into one spot, basically. Just keep healing yourself. Deep breath. Deep breath. Talons. Then you standard too, or leap from DK. Because standard is quite expensive, so I do prefer using leap sometimes. There's that taking aim. Just make sure you avoid getting hit by that, because it hurts. Okay, so when you get into this room, this is where it gets a little bit dicey. Well, if you're not prepared, that is. So what I suggest you do, if you can handle it, if you can't, just kill these groups of enemies here first, and then activate the chest. But if you're feeling like you can handle it, so I'm just going to grab one more thing. It's gone. Also, I might just grab that as well, because that heals me a bit. Alright, so what you want to do is activate the chest. If you do this after, you won't be able to do it, because when you get into combat, you won't be able to interact with the chest. But what it'll do is it'll spawn tons upon tons of enemies. Alright, so you'll pull everything near the middle, pretty much, and just go nuts. There's a lot of enemies. Just make sure you got some heals. And some stamina to break free. So one by one, when you kill like big groups of these skeletons, they're going to spawn in the middle. And you'll get stragglers from the outside areas there as well. The big dudes, the Colossus and the Flesh Atros, I think it's the Flesh Atros. They do an attack that slows you. It's a heavy attack, so just be careful of that, because that can slow you down and make you get hit by other stuff like easier. So you basically just repeat this process until this chest goes glows gold. And yeah, as you can see, lots and lots of enemies, so you are not going to struggle getting this endeavor done. As you can see here, chest is open. You just grab it, you get a purple item as well, and we get a painting. So if you ever want to do the gallery furnishing ones, you can put that in your house whenever those come up as well. So yeah, that's literally it. So just do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll get this one done as well. It's exciting, at least. So you don't have to use Skyreach if you don't want. You can go to places like Crow's Wood, public dungeons. You can go to places like in Craglorn, like fighting big groups of enemies in... sorry, not in Belkath, Elenir or Spellscar, places like that. It's just that you'll be competing with other people for doing that, so sometimes it might not be beneficial to do that. Because especially things like Crimson Cove, where there's tons of enemies, but there will also usually be a bunch of players doing the same thing. Whereas Skyreach here, it's instant, so no matter how many players are in here, as long as you're not in a group, nobody else can actually access the version of Skyreach that you get. So all the enemies will be ready to go for you as soon as you come in here. So it's just reliable, always quick to use. So I will put in the description what I would suggest you run skills-wise for each class. I will be doing a video playlist in the future, and I will be doing a video to cover each class in a bit more detail, and I'll actually show you examples of how I would use all the stuff. But for now, I'm just keep it simple. I need to level a few characters up to get their skill lines to max still. So, and you know, with subclassing coming out soon, it won't really matter anyway, right? I guess it won't matter as much. It is 2 skill points per for the subclasses skill lines, so that's not great. Okay, now we get to
my favorite of the three, harvesting resources from the world. So I will just show you a quick notepad I wrote up. So these are the things you want to look for. These are the things that you don't want to look at. Obviously in some zones, if you want certain stats, look for the chests, I suppose, but any of the stuff that don't actually count as resources from the world. I'm not sure about Digic Portals. I've never been around to see one when this endeavor comes up. They're that rare, and because of that, I wouldn't really worry about them anyway. This is like a Cyrodiil related one, and yeah, again, it's just so rare, I wouldn't really worry about them anyway. So what I would suggest you do is, I'll make sure that's in the description, by the way. Make sure you have some inventory space, because you're going to be collecting a bunch of stuff. I would say maybe 40, 30 would be enough, because you will probably get some double ups. Like you'll get a bunch of the same blacksmithing ores and stuff like that. I would also suggest running this on a max level character, not just because of inventory management, but also the stuff that you get is probably going to be most helpful to you at max level. And you also want to get a character that has like a speed build, not just with a fast mount, but also fast on foot. This is one I've got here, running Coward's Gear and just Darkstride as well. So it sprints fast and also sprints for low cost, so it can sprint for ages. I have the proper video for this like setup that I use. It's like 50 minutes long or something. But yeah, I'll link that too in the description if you want to see it. But yeah, it covers everything to do with like going fast in this game, basically. It's a stage 4 vampire build. I know that sounds a bit daunting to players if you're not experienced with this game, but believe me, it's not as bad as it sounds. So pretty much all you do here is just go to a big zone, the base game large zones, the expansion zones, the big expansion zones, Cragmorn. I'm not a fan of Vardenfell just because I don't like the layout of the map. It's kind of annoying to go through on a mount, but most stuff is pretty good. If you can, if it's not too busy, I definitely recommend Cragmorn, because you can get a set of traits for armor and for weapons. You get the potent Necrox and you get the fortified Necrox. They look like a red, the potent one, the one you really want to look for, it looks like a red, like basically looks like red glowing cocaine. It's a expensive trait that is widely used in meta builds, both for PvP and PvE, I think. As an example, I'm running on this weapon here, though it's very like no, it's like way too much effort for something as simple as that. I've got my fast mount, I'm fast on foot, and I just run through grabbing everything I can see, basically. So runestones work, blacksmithing nodes work. Also, I should point out as well, champion points. Alchemy stuff works too. Champion points will help you. There's a couple that you want to look at. So in the green tree, it's pretty much all in the green tree. So Plentiful Harvest is good, but Master Gatherer is the one you really want to look at, because Steed Blessing is also good if you aren't at the on foot speed cap as well. I go through that stuff in that video I was talking about. This one here reduces the time it takes to harvest stuff by half. Really helpful for basically speeding up how quickly you can do this one. Because yeah, it can take some time looting stuff, but with this you just do it super quick. It also helps for if there's items next to like an enemy, which is something you do have to deal with in Cragmorn from time to time. And you can actually grab stuff without alerting enemies in some cases. It's difficult to do, but you can pull it off with the Master Gatherer champion point. Grab that and then keep moving. This lake's pretty top because it's got a bunch of alchemy reagents all around it, and it's also got pure water nodes, which also count as resources from the world. So that one there, this one here, Ancestor Silt, always good. So Ancestor Silt is one I would try and prioritize. If you see a bunch of stuff, go for one of these first, or Jury Seams, because they can sell for quite a bit. You can make a fair bit of money selling raw Jury Seams and raw Ancestor Silk. There's also some alchemy plants that sell for a lot still. Columbine is the main one. Yeah, these pure water nodes here, for example, the pure water ones, these also count. And they're great. Yeah, you just go along this lake, and on both sides you can see stuff over there. The splashing ones that you can see there and over there, they're fishing spots, though they don't count, so you don't want to look at them. Some rubidite. Rubidite isn't as expensive as Ancestor Silk and Jewelry Seams are to sell. Wood is definitely the cheapest. But yeah, you do want to stockpile some raw materials for whenever the refining ones come up. For example, the one today. Can't do that with alchemy ones. Also keep in mind, you won't get the potent and fortified Gnome-Crocs trait items in Cragthorn from the alchemy nodes, the pure water nodes, or the runestones. It's only from the cloth plants, so the Ancestor Silk, the jute, that stuff, the blacksmithing ores, rubidite ore, iron ore, that sort of thing, the rough wood nodes, the ruby ash, and the jewelry seams as well, the pewter seams and the platinum seams. Flashflies don't count as a resource from the world. They're one of the insect ones, so yeah, don't use those. So if I hadn't had Master Gatherer here, I wouldn't have been able to grab those, because the guy would have hit me beforehand. Because if enemies hit you before you complete the animation for harvesting, it won't count. So you can use Master Gatherer to cheese those sorts of things. And it's great because with the Stage 4 Vampire, with this build I run, when enemies spot me, I can just go invisible and lose them in pretty quick time. And you can also just... Another great thing about this this vampirism thing, cloaking is basically the same, like Nightblade cloak builds, pretty much the same. You can just sprint past people and sprint past enemies, and they can't actually see you. You can go right in front of them, and they can't actually see you. So it's great for maneuvering through places like Elenir, because there's tons of resources here if you know where to look, but there's just tons of enemies in the way. But you can use this, and you can also use the Dark Brotherhood skill Shadow Rider, which I talked about today in the daily. This can also make harvesting resources fucking really good too. Because you can grab something like this, and when you have Dark Rider on, you can squeeze past like enemies and they won't get angry at you. They won't get angry at you as often. Like that one there would have seen me normally. So we got a platinum steam. These things are crazy expensive even now. If I look at these things, yeah, 175 per pig. This area here, just before Dragonstar, there's a ton of stuff that you can find through this route here. So there's, yeah, as you can see here, Ancestor Silk, some rubidite there. Also, I should point out, rubidite, it can, so every blacksmithing ore node, it has it's got a 50-50 chance between, I don't know if it's 50-50, it might be a bit skewed, but it can either spawn as a blacksmithing ore or a jewelry seam. They both share the same node. They're the only one that do, aside from all the different alchemy ones, but theoretically they're all the same. So yeah, Violet Coperness. Violet Coperness is reasonably expensive compared to a lot of other options that you've got for alchemy, so they can be good to also look for. Got some Luminous Rustle. These are pretty cheap, but I do use these quite a bit for alchemy leveling. Ancestor Silk, always good. Platinum Seam, always good. Just careful with the wasps here. There's one here, and then there's a couple over here. There's another node over here. So yeah, you get the picture. Just do that for a while, and yeah, we're pretty far already, and it's only been like 10 minutes or so, and half of that I'm talking over the top. So a couple of more things to go through. Oh, maybe one more thing. The Harvest Map add-on can be really helpful for you in the long term, because every time you find a resource, it will pin it on the map for you. So if I enable all these are all the ones that I've harvested in the past. So as you can see, it can be really helpful because it also will show it in front of you and on the compass too, so you can see all the different ones that I can go search. So that if you get this, it basically, the more you play this game, the easier it'll be to complete these resource endeavor ones, because you'll get more and more info on where all the stuff is, especially in Cragthorn, where that stuff is really helpful for getting Gnome-Crocs. There is something called Harvest Merge, which you can basically, if you get it working, you can load like a saved file of basically people uploading all of their node locations for every single zone. But I couldn't get it to work, and it just deleted all my current ones that I have, so I'd rather just do it myself. But you can try that out. If you don't have any right now, it might just be a good idea to say, fuck it, give it a try, because you got nothing to lose in that case. Yeah, that can help too. But as I said, I haven't been able to get that to work. Apparently it's outdated now. But give it a try if you want. Oh, that was close. Alright. So that's dailies. That's weeklies done. So if you have any questions, as always, just let me know. And I'll be more than happy to help. More than happy to answer. But that's weeklies done for now. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I will see you all next time. And take care.